Elio guys, and welcome back to another episode of Infinite Magicraid. And in today's video, not only am I redoing the Yoko review because I done that while the game was in beta, but I'm also going to be doing a spotlight on her. So let me stop talking about that and actually let's focus on the character here. So Yoko was my first baby girl in terms of being a legendary for my beta account here. So I definitely treasured her until someone else came onto the scene. And we all know who that is, so I won't bring her up, but she's sitting right next to her, if you get what I'm saying here. But this is my lovely Yoko. She is on a wild slash slay set. Her stats could definitely be better, but you'll kind of see why I've kind of taken my attention away from her and put it into other units, hopefully with this video. Now, I'm not going to say that Yoko is bad by any means, but hopefully after, I get through things, you kind of understand what I'm doing with Yoko, hopefully in the future here. But going over her skills very briefly before we do the spotlight here, she has her basic attack, which is her first skill right here, does X amount of damage, and then she also gains 1 layer of focus. Yoko also has this skill where she can kind of switch forms. One is for damage mitigation, and then one is for doing damage. But in my case, I mainly just use the damage dealing one, so I'm not going to waste your guys' time with me talking about all of the different skills here. But if you were to go inside the defensive mode here, we can see with her ultimate skill that she gains herself a shield for, of course, more damage mitigation, which is based off her max HP, and she also gains some leech, so she can kind of heal herself and bring up a shield to mitigate as much damage as possible, which is always great here. But yeah, that is the basis of her skill right here in terms of it being in the defensive state. If we go over here to the skill switch button, hit that, we're now into the attack state right here, clicking on this passive. What's really nice about this attack state is that she deals 20% more damage, and it also increases her crit damage by 12%. With this skill fully booked up though, it does go up to 20% additional crit damage, which is nice. It's small, but it's a nice boost considering this is probably the only form that you'll use. I'm sure other players out there may use different forms for her, but with Infinite Magicraid's format, especially with turns like maxing out at 300, my whole thought process is to kill or be killed. And if we slide over here to her ultimate inside her attack form, this skill now has 40% more crit rate and 60% more crit damage, which seems very, very close to someone else that we know. I'm not going to say it, but hopefully you know who that is. However, the difference in between her and Yoko, for example, is that her crit damage, I do believe, still goes up because that's its own separate move and not bound by doing damage within this move as well. But you already can see that you should be building them quite similarly if you were to use both of them basically in tandem together here. And then at exclusive level 1, she basically does the bunny hop here, which I will cover as part of the spotlight, which makes Yoko a bit different, at least in my opinion, in terms of single target DPS. But with her skills out the way here, let's go over here to her emblems because I nearly forgot that in my previous video. And this is basically what my Yoko is rocking with. None of her moves really have any type of like debuff added to them. Yes, if you decide to go the defensive route, there's the additional leech, but with the additional leech, you just need damage because leech is based off the damage that you apply to the enemy here. So my focus is on making sure that she can kind of stay alive and tank damage and also deal damage as much as possible. So feel free to screenshot this or whatever, or if you haven't already, check out the spreadsheet located on the subreddit, and this exact thing should be up there in one of the tabs for you guys to view later here. And then if we come over here to her equipment, I'll show this off real quick and we'll get on with the spotlight here. So wild set, we have this lovely piece of smiley face right here, a little bit of speed, a little bit of crit damage. Wild set once again, crit damage, crit rate, effect hit, doesn't really matter, HP. Subs overall are kind of trashy, I will admit. For the slay set, we have crit damage, there's also some crit rate, not bad, could be better, but not as bad as a wild set. And then for the other accessory over here, there's attack rate, crit rate, and attack. So all good stuff, just low rolls until its values. In terms of her artifacts though, I'm rocking a crit rate one. There's also a lovely attack one with some additional crit rate and crit damage, followed by a speed one because if you aren't going first, you're last in terms of Infinite Magicraid. So in terms of like addressing her stat distribution here, I could definitely bump this up and just get her with better gear and just pray to the gods that I get better rolls into that gear. but we will save that for basically another time here. And just in case you guys are curious about her aura that I have at this time, she has a brutal recovery aura, and that kind of coincides with her ultimate right here, because my Yoko is at exclusive level 1, which can be very helpful with this, where essentially if she kills an enemy, she can heal herself. While this isn't super duper amazing, it's only a green aura anyways, and I was like, I'll give her something to kind of help raise up her base stats and just roll with that. But in case you're not a big fan of the brutal recovery aura, you could also try out the frenzy bloodlust aura if you are able to access that at this point in time, because if she lands a crit, then she does get more leech on her attacks, which is great for damage mitigation and helping her survivability. And anything kind of based around either crit, direct damage, or of course crit damage is always going to be a very good pick for the lovely Yoko here. But let's go ahead and see her in action. Alright, so we are in PvP here, and this is the advanced arena because this is the best way to kind of show you guys what I'm really getting at in terms of Yoko here. But she's already inside of her attack mode, just in case you're curious, and that's indicated by kind of like the pink reddish color down here at the bottom. And this is the situation where I think Yoko kind of differs herself from other single target enemies, because we have a lot of single target nukers, but honestly in Yoko's case, I feel like she's best paired up with other units that have AoE on them, which may not make much sense in this scenario. But thinking of, you know, fighting a whole bunch of A5s who are level 50 here, if you had someone like Slackdo, Marge, Oakman, etc. together, basically some brutal hitting AoE characters, and they can kind of go through here and shred out the other side's HP. If you have Yoko come up in there at the very last second before they get their turns off and their HP is low enough, you get some lovely bunny hop action, which hopefully she will do right here. And with that team composition as well, having someone like Luna, or essentially some type of unit that can apply attack up to the entire squad, can make the AoE damagers more efficient. And then Yoko here, especially if everyone's HP is low on the other side, this is where the smiley face gaming comes in, because she's not Sia, she's not Maeve, she's not anyone of that nature. She's Yoko, and she is here to basically kind of pick off anyone that remains after you've had your AoE damage dealers just go ahead and drop a big bomb off here. So we're going to go ahead and cast this ultimate, and hopefully things are smiley face gaming here. Now once again, these guys are lower level, so this example should work, but in the case of fighting some high level units, if you can pick apart their HP as low as possible without killing them, and then have Yoko go, I think she potentially has a very good place in terms of someone using like more AoE type units versus single target damage dealers, because as stated before, we have those that do that, and then we have the lovely Yoko. So let's go ahead and pop this ultimate and see some of that bunny rabbit action. And it's just like that, you guys. So hopefully you guys saw what I was talking about there with her bunny rabbit action slash her bunny hop action, where if she kills a target, she basically bunny hops over to the next one and she deals damage that subsequently goes down each time, because it says right here with her exclusive level 1 that it deals damage equal to 70% of the damage done last time, meaning she does 70% of the 100% damage, it goes down to 70, then she does 70% of that 70 damage, and then it trickles down. So if you do have hard hitting AoE units, especially paired up with her, I think in that case I would probably end up using Yoko over Sia if I can reliably get units HP down by quite a bit, because potentially here she could take out the entire squad, or if, you know, depending on who you're fighting here, she could at least pick off 2, maybe 3 units at once for one ultimate, and I don't know many single target units that can do that. So I think Yoko just is a bit different. Like, she hits different in terms of single target damage dealers, but hopefully with this spotlight you get kind of a better understanding of her skills and kind of the best way, at least in my opinion, to maximize her, where you want the AoE characters to go in, drop it like it's hot, and then you want Yoko to come up in there and clean it up. But I still think she is a great legendary. I don't personally consider her a main carry. I see her more as a sub carry, and she really shines in other places like the advanced arena, and of course just regular PvP in general. And it's really up to you to decide how you want to use her here, but I always go offensively, and if you are fortunate enough to get her at exclusive level 1, I think she is a super great unit, because that kind of helps pick her apart from the other single target damage dealers. But yeah, that's baby girl Yoko, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.
Infinite Magicraid. Play to slay.